I am Mistral the Seer. The shadows gather, the pattern forms, and the signs open. Sign 1. The first sign rises from the smoke of power. Does the Iran war diminish us superpower status? And 2. The US is still unrivaled in its ability to project military strength around the world, but Iran's success in blocking the Strait of Hormuz has raised tough question on America's role as protector of global. This matters because military pressure rarely remains where it begins. It travels through alliances, ports, fuel, and public fear. The prophecy. I see a second move coming from the shadow of the first. Beware the answer that arrives dressed as defense. I see the consequence moving outward, touching places that were not named in the first report. I see the consequence moving outward, touching places that were not named in the first report. Sign 2. The second sign moves through the hidden machinery of the world. Sigh of relief in Africa as the Strait of Hormuz reopens. A potential US-Iran agreement could lower energy, fertilizer, and food prices in Africa if the Strait of Hormuz fully reopens. Oil exporters such as Nigeria and Angola might have to cope with less revenue. Experts. This matters because military pressure rarely remains where it begins. It travels through alliances, ports, fuel, and public fear. The prophecy. The map trembles where ships, borders, and commanders meet. Watch the narrow waters and the closed rooms of power. The second shadow of this sign will be measured not in words, but in reaction. The second shadow of this sign will be measured not in words, but in reaction. Sign 3. The third sign darkens the road between nations. Jafar Panahi's prison sentence confirmed by Iranian court, following a retrial for a verdict that had been reached while the prominent Iranian director was abroad. The Revolutionary Court in Tehran has upheld a 1-year jail. This matters because trust in power is a fragile wall. Once it cracks, every official word carries a second meaning. The prophecy. Power rarely breaks in one blow. It cracks first in trust, then in language, then in action. Watch who benefits, who denies, and who changes direction without admitting fear. Watch who benefits, who denies, and who changes direction without admitting fear. Sign 4. The fourth sign comes as pressure beneath the surface. Israeli court rules to keep prominent Palestinian doctor in detention. The Palestinian doctor demanded his release last week after months of imprisonment and visible signs of. This matters because trust in power is a fragile wall. Once it cracks, every official word carries a second meaning. The prophecy. I see authority tested by the weight of its own words. Beware the law announced as order but received as warning. This is where the visible story ends, and the hidden pressure begins. This is where the visible story ends, and the hidden pressure begins. Sign 5. The fifth sign flashes at the edge of the map. Homes in illegal Israeli settlements promoted at London Property Show. Exclusive images demonstrate illegal Israeli settlements in the West Bank were being advertised at a property show in. This matters because money, energy, and trade are the bones beneath daily life. When they shift, millions feel the tremor. The prophecy. Coin, fuel, and trade move like hidden rivers. When one channel is blocked, pressure will rise somewhere else. The omen grows stronger when silence follows a warning that should have been answered. Final prophecy. I see 5 signs, but one pattern. War and geopolitics, government and power, markets and supply. The world is not speaking in one voice. It is speaking in echoes. Va touches fuel. Fuel touches markets. Markets touch governments. Governments touch crowds. And above them all, weather, technology, and fear press against the walls of order. Beware the weak of small announcements, because small announcements are often the doors through which larger consequences enter. The future is not fixed, but the warning is clear. Watch the pressure points before they become the breaking points.